And who the hell is this? Dr. Romero, do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? No, dude, I think that the creator
I'd buy that for $1.
is laughing his or her ass off. Let's just put it that way. I think it's like, let's see if we bring in the Russians into, you know what I mean? Anyway, thank you, Dr. Romero. I do understand what you're saying, but I disagree. I think I think the creator is, getting off to this, if you want my opinion. But that's a whole other, discussion. All right, can we get to Lord Cooler's video? Once again, he said, R.I.P. Max. Wait a minute, Jordan Maxwell died, dude? Well, it doesn't surprise me. That dude was old and shit. But Jordan Maxwell, up until his elder age, was actually a fairly good resource for some decent esoteric knowledge. So here it is, courtesy of Lord Cooler. Put the PC shot on, a little bit of Jordan Maxwell. I haven't seen Jordan Maxwell in a minute. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, he just died March 23rd, 2022. I wonder if he was vaxxed. Probably not, dude. That's a lot, This guy was a big guy his whole life, Just saying. I'm just saying. Gaia.
This is Secret Life of Symbols.
Secret Life of Symbols. Solar worship. Like God's Son, the light of the world. So on Sunday, he shines. Anyway, never. Go ahead, Jordan.
On this episode, I'd like to talk a little bit about the sun and its symbolic importance in the whole story of the zodiac.
Zodiac.
Now, as we begin the story of the sun and the ancient religions of the world and how much the sun has dominated civilization for as long as we have records, we need to go back to the very beginning, and that's a long time ago. Let's go back to
ancient Egypt. It all goes back to Egypt
because that's one of the oldest civilizations on the earth, and we will see how Egypt developed the concept of the importance of the sun in relation to theology and spirituality and religion. Now, this is an ancient symbol for the sun, prehistoric, that the ancient peoples drew to represent the sun.
Now, if you've seen the movie Zeitgeist by Peter Joseph, which was also a very propagandist film, I might want to add, a lot of probably what Jordan Maxwell is about to present is what's covered there. But what they're going to get to here is that this is where the cross or the crucifix becomes very important in religious symbolism, no matter what civilization you're referring to, and this is where it all derives from. It derives from the zodiac. Go ahead, play it. Here it is.
It's an equal arm cross within the circle. Here is a artifact that was found in England. It's unhinged. It's on a golden circle, which represents the sun, and then you'll see the cross in between. And this is about 4,500 years old. Almost 5,000 years ago, ancient mankind drew pictures of what they perceived the sun to be as an equal arm cross. And you will see it also in the ancient religions of the Near and Middle East, the different ancient gods in the Phoenician, Canaanite, Sumerian systems. They all had the equal arm cross. But it's important to remember that the sun was never perceived as a god. It was perceived to represent the spiritual qualities of God.
I don't know about that, Jordan Maxwell. You didn't used to say that. There, Jordan Maxwell. Come on, man. Are you kind of cutting back a little bit to get paid for this or something? That's not what you used to say, baby.
Brought life to the earth. It brought warmth to the earth. It brought energy for us to live. So all of the good things about God and his creation was best represented by
But one thing I will say about Jordan Maxwell, he does understand that the religious context of however you interpret this world has more than one God. That's why when Dr. Romero, or the guy that donated here, let me see what his name is again. Dr. Romero asked about God, I talked about the creator of this place. Not the gods, the creator.
Symbol of the sun.
And by the way, if you're just coming in, Lord Cooler, our resident astrologist here, donated this video and dropped about 13 beers for us to watch this. And this is it looks like a modern lecture by Jordan Maxwell, and he's already pulling back on a lot of things that he used to talk about, but let's play it.
Sometimes the sun actually even looks like it has an equal arm cross in the heavens. The reason why it's 4 equal arms on the cross is because there are 4 equal seasons of the year. We have north, east, west, and south, the 4 corners. Then each one of those 4 corners represents a season of the year: spring, summer, autumn, winter. This is why you have 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
This is, he's going into, believe it or not, if you take a look at the Last Supper of Jesus, the first letter of every apostle and everybody that's at that table represents the solar calendar. I don't know if y'all know that.
They're talking about the life of the sun. The ancient peoples, like us today, we draw a circle, a round circle, and we divide it into 4 equal parts. And so now you have an equal arm cross inside of a circle. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, spring, summer, autumn, winter. There are a lot of symbolism in the Bible that we have misunderstood and mistaken. The whole idea is the 4 lodging places of the sun gives us our 4 seasons of the year. You will find the equal arm cross all over the world. Every race and creed and color has the same symbol for the ancient sun. The Nordics had the symbol, the Vikings kept the symbol, ancient France
this symbol
used the
was
symbol.
very common amongst
The
many
symbol was on
civilizations
rocks and
throughout the
carvings
world.
and paintings. Even in India, you have the equal arm cross. The Celtic and the Celtic Druids in Europe and England and Ireland had an equal arm cross. Native Americans used it, Central America, and especially in Mayan and Inca and some of the ancient religions in South America have used the equal arm cross. So it became known all around the world that the equal arm cross within a circle represented the old 5,000-year-old petroglyph concept of the sun. Today,
God's
people
sun,
see it
the
everywhere,
light of the world.
and so it has become not really important because it's just a general symbol that people realize is a cross. Here is a picture of the ancient Nordic peoples that were preparing for what we would call today the Easter sunrise service. Here the ancient peoples in Europe realized that the sun was coming back to the northern hemisphere.
And not
And it
just
would
that.
bring with it
Let me also explain some other secret about Easter, because we're about to celebrate it here in about a week or so, right? Easter not only represents the equinox, which I believe Jordan Maxwell is getting here, but it also represents the East Star, the Eastern Star that comes into prominent view after Easter Sunday. So right now, by the way, it's very ironic that all religions are celebrating the same time frame that a lot of these celestial things that are happening. Wednesday, I believe, is Passover for the Jewish folks. We've got Good Friday, we've got Easter Sunday or Easter Sunday. And we have Ramadan that's being celebrated, believe it or not, by the Muslims. And they all celebrate this Easter. If you take a look at the flags of most Muslim countries, they actually promote a crescent moon with a star right around as it looks like it's about to go into the crescent moon. That's what Ramadan is celebrating, believe it or not. Okay, so once again, this is another thing that is celebrated,
I'd buy
the
that
East
for $1.
Star, all right? Hey, hold on just one second. We got sorry, Lord Cooler, we got another dono here, and it is by Jonathan Ewald of Omaha. Hey, Ghost, there's two choices for you. One is more info on Chimera aliens, or two, some classic internet trolling. All right, so thank you, Jonathan Ewald from Omaha. I thought it was from Omaha. I didn't realize that people still live there. Anyway, let's go ahead. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's go back to Lord Cooler's video when we're talking about the East Star here.
The
right?
warmth, the food, and life. And so they all gathered with their sun symbol to welcome back the sun that had died in winter and was coming back to the northern hemisphere. Became known as what we call today Easter. The circle on the cross is not a man dying on a cross. It's the sun on the north, east, west, and southern parts of the earth. The idea being, of course, is that when the sun dies in winter, and then when it is reborn on December 20th.
Now, calm down there, Jordan Maxwell. He is talking about Druidic and Celtic interpretations of how they worship the sun. This is very pagan-esque. He's kind of intertwining different faiths and calling it one here, which is unlike Jordan Maxwell, but I get why he's doing it. I mean, I don't know, whatever Gaia is. I mean, it's 1.6 million subscribers. They probably paid him for this, and I'm sure he had to work under the confines of certain certain people's authorities. Let's put it that way.
5th, the sun actually begins to move northward. And when it does, that tells the world that the sun is now coming back to the northern hemisphere, bringing back the sun to us in the northern hemisphere. Because for us in the northern hemisphere, the sun was dead to us because it was in the southern hemisphere. But now it's being born again and coming back to the northern hemisphere. That's the whole story in itself, is the vision of the sun going southward and dying on the cross and then being reborn on December 25th when it moves 1 degree northward and now is coming back and sort of springing back to life. And so in the spring, we call it springing back to life. Well, you will have the symbol everywhere, and even the European Agency for the Euro uses the same equal arm cross to represent the new Euro establishment. You will always find in royalty throughout the world, royalty and governments always use this equal arm cross. The Nazis used it. Even in the parade of the Nazis used the swastika, which is a symbol of the sun.
It
also.
is absolutely, and by the way, the swastika was hijacked by Hitler, that disgruntled, failed artist, student, homosexual Jewish man. He hijacked it from, well, it depends on who you believe brought it first, Hindu or Buddha. I believe it was Buddha, but they stole it from an Asiatic religion and incorporated it and made it, what it's known for today.
Also that they are using the equal arm cross. Coptic Christians, even the kings and rulers like the emperors of Europe, always had the equal arm cross on their staff, equal arm cross with the sun god and churches. In September, mid-September, around the world, Christians will gather in schools and universities to worship their God Jesus, who died on a cross. And when they call this ritual, see you at the pole. See you at the pole means that Christians will gather around the flagpole at their colleges and schools to venerate and to worship Jesus, God's Son, the light of the world.
The light of the world.
Well, of course, the sun is the light of the world.
Hey, wait a minute.
Christians gathering.
Wait a minute. Did they just hold on?
Venerate.
Go back. Hold on. Where are we? Was that a black Jesus? Hold on. I wanted to see if that was a black Jesus.
Pole means that Christians will gather
did we just get enlightened about something?
And schools to venerate and to worship Jesus, God's Son, the light of the world.
Look, I think we just had a revelation here, man. We was Jesus. I had no idea. Although it did say that Jesus had olive skin and hair that of wool. So, I don't know. Maybe they're right. I don't know.
Well, of course, the sun is the light of the world. But here are Christians gathering to worship Jesus, never realizing that they are actually meeting around a very ancient symbol of the old petroglyph cross. That this symbol of an equal armed cross within the circle represents an old ancient idea of how to picture the sun. And it's really extraordinary to notice that all churches use that same symbol.
Well, it depends on how you
and
interpret
all
it.
over the world.
I mean, there's some Protestants that think of that as the Holy Trinity, right?
Do not realize that this cross that they think represents Christianity is actually over 5,000 years old. It's an ancient,
now, this is something
prehistoric...
that I really don't appreciate about Jordan Maxwell. He tries to bash Jesus a lot. And look, I'm not saying that I'm I'm not confirming nothing, okay? I mean, my religion is my right. That's why I love being an American. I have the freedom of religion, and I don't have to tell anybody anything. But let me tell you something right now. When you have somebody that bashes Jesus, you got to be suspect a little bit. Because, look, if Jesus was so insignificant and Jesus was so fake, why is it that every religion puts so much time, effort, and energy into denouncing him and trying to persecute, if not execute, his followers, etc., if he was so insignificant? Every religion goes after Jesus in the most vehement way, and I just don't understand. If he's so insignificant, if he was fake, then why the hell even bother? Why don't you just ignore him and it'll go away? I'm just saying. Somebody answer that question.
Symbol of the sun. Jesus has always represented the sun, the S-U-N, not S-O-N. The etymology of the word for the sun. You see that sun can be S-U-N or S-O-N, and depending on how it's used. S-O-N and S-U-N are used interchangeably in Christianity. Illustrations in the Christian church, you will see.
What the hell is up with the black Jesus, dude? Are they trying to tell us? Hold on, go back a little bit. What are they trying to tell us? And that's another black Jesus. That Jesus has got cornrows and shit. What the fuck? Look, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just, I mean, are they trying to tell us something here? I don't get it.
Actually,
I don't get it.
Glowing sun. Not a young child or a baby or a man, but the S-U-N. There's two words, S-U-N and S-O-N, but the Christianity and Judaism are based on the worship of the S-U-N, not S-O-N.
That's not necessarily true. Well, look, I'll be honest. Jews, they worship many gods. Some of them worship the sun, many of them worship the moon, and most of them worship Saturn, if you believe it or not.
That misunderstanding is part of the history of the English language. Because if you go back into the King's Old English,
but there are other deities that the Jews do pray to. I mean, I'm just saying.
The English language. There is a phenomena which in English class you will learn is called the lazy O. The lazy O is a phenomena in English which means that translators always translated sun, S-O-N and S-U-N, all in the same sentence. And so it became known as the lazy O. They were talking about the S-U-N.
Come on, look, I'll be honest with you, man.
S-O-N
this is a little
lazy.
long in the tooth, Jordan Maxwell here. I mean, I remember watching Jordan Maxwell lectures, and by the 10 or 11 minute mark, I mean, he would have gotten through a whole bunch of information. You could tell that this guy produced this for TV,
The mother of Jesus is Mary, which is actually
another. Look, that's a black
Mary,
baby. That's a black baby. Dude, what? hold on. This is blasphemous on Jesus, dude. All right, come on, man. Come on, dude.
A-R-I, not M-A-R-Y. Mary means pure. And therefore the mother of Jesus is a virgin, or Virgo. One of the 12 signs of the zodiac is a Virgo, the virgin. So here is Mary, or Mary, the virgin, Virgo, holding the baby Jesus, or
I'd buy
God's
that for
son,
$1.
the light of the
Oh,
world.
Jesus Christ. 16 beers, 15 and a half inches of pure imagination. All right, let me see what we got here. Put the PC shot on. 15 and a half inches, Book of Revelation revealed. I knew he was going to do that, dude. 15 and a half inches of pure imagination. When I started talking about Jesus, I felt the atheist vibes in you. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's listen to Lord Cooler's video. Cheers to you there, 15 and a half inches of pure imagination. Let's go ahead and do this here, all right?
Today we still have Jesus as God's son in the heavens.
Dude,
And he
come
became
on.
now
Let's
a
get
great
let's
sun
move
god.
this along, Jordan Maxwell.
But
Come
the
on.
question you need to ask yourself is, who owns the sun? We assume that the sun must be owned by someone. Well, mankind doesn't own the sun. If anything, you would say maybe God owns the sun. So if God owns the sun, then it's God's son, and he's the light of the world. Of course the sun is the light of the world.
I get it, dude. I said this before we even started talking.
Looking at the communion host, the Catholic communion host, you will see it always looks like the old ancient
The Eucharist.
sun. You see that the sun and Jesus' hand represents the S-U-N. The Holy Eucharist represents the sun.
No,
This is why
well,
the priest...
now, come on there. That's supposed to be the body of Christ. Come on, man.
in the church on Sundays will raise the sun. They will raise it. Jesus,
all right, we
means
get
God
it.
is with
Let's
us.
get on with it.
And you will see the sun is prominent in all of Catholicism. Everywhere you look at Catholicism, worshippers of the sun.
Dude, we get it, Jordan.
Now,
Can
here
we
have a
move
picture of
on?
Jesus giving to the children a part of his body. And what is he giving them? A little round sun disc. We're told that we should all take part of his body at the first communion. In that communion in the Catholic Church, you're taking part of God's son's body.
Dude,
The
give me
idea
a
that the
break.
son dies on the cross.
We get
goes back
it!
to the- And so that's where we see it now.
All right, can
over
we
the
move
world,
on from
all
this? And
Christianity.
can I
You'll
gather
see
some
the
more
sun
information
is
here?
always dying
Jordan,
on the
this is
cross.
not your best work.
The southern constellations, when you go down south, when the sun
The
reaches
crux,
the lowest
we
part
get
in
it,
the-
dude.
when it's its lowest
We
point
already
in the southern
went
sky,
over
it's
this
down
shit.
south. But on December 22nd, the sun goes as far in the south
Oh,
as it's
Jesus
going to go,
Christ.
and it stops
Dude,
going southward.
we
on
get you
December
just said
22nd.
this
It
stuff.
does- And on December 25th,
Dude, come
the sun
on,
moves
man.
1 degree northward.
Come
Do you
on,
see a
dude.
man on this cross? Do you see a man dying on the
He's
cross?
saying
No.
the sun. All
This
right,
is what
dude.
is
All right.
actually meant
Gee,
by-
this is horrible.
It is.
All
in
right,
the
hey, Lord
constellation
Cooler
of
he's
Leo.
allowing me to fucking up the speed on this. Let's do it right here. Hurry up. Play it.
And then he comes back and springs back to life.
You
And when he comes back
just
to the northern hemisphere,
fucking
we
said
can-
this, you stupid old fart!
Sun worship is a very old religion dating back thousands of years before the Roman Empire. But in Rome, the sun god was called Mithra. Mithraism was the main religion in the Roman Empire at the time that Christianity was coming into play.
And
in the
all right,
Roman
I'm
Empire.
going to tell you what he's going to say. He said the ram was worshipped, and that's why you see the Jews and everybody back then worshiping the ram, and the equinox of the sun went into the Pisces, and that's why everybody now worships a fucking fish, and now we're headed into the age of Aquarius, where we're all gonna fucking worship a bowl of water or whatever the fuck.
Constantine was a follower of Mithra, and Mithra was God's son who died on a cross. He was dead for 3 days and rose again. The Emperor Constantine was famous for starting the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church was not started by Jesus. It was started by a Roman emperor. And it was headquarters in Rome, not the heaven.
Yeah,
It
we
was
get
mixing
it.
Judaism and
We
Mithraism
get it. The Council of Nicaea. Come on.
and some of the other religions of the Arabic world that also worship the sun, and brought all of these different religions together in order to confirm the power of Caesar in Rome under one religion and one government. It was actually a world government, supposedly at the time. Catholic means universal, meaning whatever air is Catholic, because air is all over the world. Water is Catholic. Anything which is all over the world is Catholic, because it's a Latin word that means universal. Constantine was trying to unite all the religions of the Roman Empire into one. Religious divisions are very dangerous, and they can also harbor treason and anti-government. And so Caesar realized if he could bring all the religions into one religion and call it Christianity, and yet it would have all the parts of everybody else's religion. It would have Judaism, worship of the sun. It would have Yahweh as a part of it. It would have Mithraism as a part of it, so that everyone could agree to follow one religion which Caesar would rule from. He would rule from. And so it was a political move.
Yeah.
That's all. But the point is
and until the Senate came in and shanked his ass.
Constantine, the Roman emperor, founded the Roman Catholic Church. This is a Sumerian picturing the sun on the altar. In the ancient world, the Phoenician, Canaanite, Sumerians, the Hittites, all of these ancient cultures always had helmets. Their military wore helmets with the rising sun symbol. The rising sun symbol is still used even today around the world on helmets and military. Here in Rome, you'll see the Romans wearing the rising sun. Again, you will see it here where the Romans, they were brutal rulers of the people, but their symbol was the rising sun. And so now let's look at the sun worship today and its ancient foundation, which was the cult of Solus Invictus. Solus Invictus is Sol,
Solus
which is the sun,
Invictus.
and invincible. The sun was said by the
Don't
Romans, it was
convict
invincible.
us.
Why was the sun invincible? Because every year it came into its power in the summer, and then it would die in the winter to the northern hemisphere. But it would come back every
yeah,
year.
we
It would come back
get
to the
it,
northern
dude.
hemisphere.
Like, what
so
the
it may die in the winter.
fuck?
It's on his hand. It's on his gloves. It's on the outside of churches. It's at the top of churches also, implying the sun is risen, and the sun rays are dominating.
Dude, I think we get the
Catholic Church all over the
fucking
world.
point.
So here's paintings on the wall of the Vatican showing the angels, showing the worker, the common man, the worker, to look to the sun for his food and for his life and for everything. God's sun is the light of the world. And so Catholic Church or the Vatican is promoting sun worship.
Well, they're
Everywhere the
promoting.
Catholic Church
They're
and Christ-
promoting a lot of shit, and this is the only thing that I can agree with when it comes to Jordan Maxwell and this very repetitive banter. Is that the Catholic religion was an attempt at trying to make a universal religion. And believe it or not, the institution itself, is the oldest institution still remaining from those days of fucking Rome and the fall of Rome and, the Dark Ages and shit like that. So that's why the Catholic Church seems to be infallible, and it seems to be that it can rape millions of children, and yet nothing happens to these people. I don't see any, the kind of shit that's happening in warfare. Like we saw the Russians invade Ukraine. We saw Ukraine fighting back. We don't see that kind of shit happening to the Catholic Church, considering that this church has molested and raped millions of children throughout centuries. And yet they seem to be untouchable. That should tell you something, that this institution of Catholicism is at the bottom of all the bad shit that's happening in this world. And if you don't believe me, then you're a part of the problem.
meet, you will see the sun. This is a convention held in the United States for the Pope, and to honor the Pope and to honor the Catholic presence in America. But you will see that there is a sun in the middle representing Christianity, God's Son, the light of the world. The Savior is born. Here are pictures from modern day magazines.
Dude, is this all this guy going to talk? Dude, I'm going to move on, Lord Cooler. Look,
And
this
so
guy's
the
just going
sun
to
is
talk
always
about
golden,
the sun
so the
shit. I think we
Son of
get the
God
point,
has the
dude.
spokes of the ancient.
I mean, if we were
going
to watch a Jordan Maxwell lecture, it should have been one about how he talks about the esoteric philosophy.
Here in the Vatican is a very interesting.
I mean, this is a video for normies that don't know
and it is
shit.
showing Jesus' mother, the Virgin.
Go
which is Virgo,
1.75.
the
I'm
Virgin
going
of the
full
Zodiac,
throttle.
holding her newborn
All right,
son.
fuck this shit. I'm
S-U-N.
going 2.
And this is in the Vatican.
Hurry up! Let's get to the next video dono. And by the way, the next video dono was requested by 15.5 inches of pure imagination. And 15.5 inches of pure imagination dropped 16 beers for this video. And 15.5 inches of pure imagination said this is the book of Revelation revealed. So we're going to have to listen to this for a considerable amount of time because 15.5 inches of pure imagination hooked it up with a 16 beer here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I put the PC shot on. Once again, 15.5 inches of pure imagination. Let's play it. The book of Revelation has been the subject of debate and misinterpretation for nearly 2,000 years. Christians numbering in the millions believe it's a prophecy about the second coming of Jesus and the end of the world. Their misunderstanding of the book has been bred fear and symptoms of religion psychosis for ages. Obviously, this is some atheist propaganda, just by those statements there. The fact that the book of Revelation is simply astronomy and astronomical lore. Jesus Christ, I got tongue-tied there. Astronomical lore. It makes numerous references to various constellations of the zodiac in the night sky. We will not attack you. Hold on, what?
Funny you say this is emo animation. When I was in middle and high school, this cartoon mostly appealed to the emo kids or the weebs on campus.
Of course it did.
I never saw the appeal in it. Plus, the merch was popular at places like Hot Topic, which also appealed to emos.
I have never even seen it, Alexander the Resurrection, and I knew that was emo-esque just by looking at the imagery being subjected in that animation. So thank you for observing that and validating what I had postulated watching that shit. All right, once again, 15.5 inches of pure imagination. Back to his video. We will not attack you. We shall not exterminate you. We shall explain you. John Morley, whoever the hell that guy is. All right, pretty little creepy intro here. Circa AD 91, Prison Islands, Patmos. All right, we get the visualizations here. All right, here it is. Is that supposed to be Moses? Who is this supposed to be? All right, come on. What is this, the Dead Sea Scrolls? What is this? Oh, thank you, Greek God. It's John, all right? My God doesn't give a shit about all this crap, but, you know. Wait a minute, we're watching something about religion and you people are debating what was the best cartoon on Nickelodeon? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Hey, blonde chick, blue eyes falling from the sky. Must be heaven. Hey, are you a Ukrainian refugee there, baby? Huh? Wait a minute, why are you getting fatter? Uh-oh. Hey, that ain't mine. I ain't the father. I I ain't the fucking fodder. And what the hell is that? What the hell is that? I mean, what is this? A scuffed futuristic Rosemary's Baby? What the fuck am I watching here? Oh my God. Oh my God. This is apparently a revelation.
And unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, These things saith he that hath the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. God and the 7 stars. The 7 stars.
The constellation Ursa Major is commonly known as the Big Dipper, and is made up of 7 stars. The arrangement of these stars are also known as the Bear and the Plough. In France, it is still called the Chariot of Souls or Spirits. It is now suggested that the Elohim of the Hebrew Genesis had their phenomenal origin in the 7 great stars of the Bear, and that the 7 Elohim...
Now, he's talking about Jewish religion here. He's talking about Elohim. Whenever you make a reference to Elohim, that is exclusively a Jewish deity. That's why there's El at a lot of things that mean the head of. Like if you were an older or somebody of authority in a community, you were an elder. That's why when you get voted into office, you're elected. That's why. Anyway, I just wanted to say Elohim is a big deal.
Elohim are the same personages and types as the 7 rishis of India, the 7 spirits of the Great Bear found in Egypt, China and Japan, the 7 Knemu or pygmy sons of Ptah, the 7 Kabiri, the 7 Amshaspands of the Persians, the 7 princes of the Kabalist chariot, the 7 titans with Cronus, the 7 Greek Heliades or sons of Helios, the 7 Hathors, the 7 cows, Ra with his 7 souls, the 7 pillars of wisdom, the 7 doors in the cave of Mithras.
This is Nazi propaganda.
The 7 steps of the Masonic...
I'm kidding. I'm just trying to act like a social justice warrior. Oh my God, that looks like a swastika. God is a fucking Nazi.
Cladder, the candlestick with 7 branches.
Look at Art Hammond. Oh, sorry. Let me tell you something. You're not fucking sorry. You're a sick fuck, Art Hammond. All right? It's not like you even, put a snake out of the ass or, showed something. You showed fucking gay pornography of some guy giving a fucking another fat dude a disgusting, despicable fucking rim job. And dude, just shut the fuck up. You're a sick fucking guy. This isn't something you can just say, I'm sorry, Ghost. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. It's not that. Can we just get back to 15.5 inches of Pure Imagination's video, please?
The enclosures of the Jewish temple, the 7 tablets and the 7 spirits before the throne. The throne is the constellation Cassiopeia. Ursa Major is right in front of this constellation.
John to the 7 churches which are in Asia. Grace be unto you and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne.
The Apocalypse says,
And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal.
Hold on, pause this.
Thus,
Narnar, look, this is a very good question to ask in the chat room. Is astrology actually interesting or just schizo shit? It actually does correlate with dogmatic ideas and beliefs. I mean, there is a correlation with the celestial bodies up above and how they're worshipped below. I think you've heard that terminology if you understand esoteric philosophy, as above, so below. That is the hand symbol that Baphomet is doing. Whenever you see a statue of Baphomet, it throws 2 fingers upward and 2 fingers downward, as above, so below. That's actually not something that's exclusive to Satan or Baphomet or whatever deity. that is something that has been understood for a long time. So, as I stated, I mean, all this coincides with one another. But it's up to you to investigate, how it all correlates. That's why I made the reference earlier that we're about to celebrate Easter next week, right? And the Jews are about to celebrate Passover next week. We're in the middle of Ramadan at this particular time. So I don't think that's an accident. I think that's a direct correlation with the celestial bodies that we see above, so we worship below, okay? So anyway, I don't want to get too deep into this. Let's go ahead and get back to 15.5 inches of pure imagination's video.
7 fiery icon lamps are situated before the throne on which God sits in glory. The sea of glass, similar to crystal, apparently is the sky as observed by the author. The constellations of Cassiopeia and the throne were drawn as Christ sitting on his...
And you see, this is the argument by many atheists that, hey, wait a minute, there's a direct correlation with what's going on in space and the worship of anthropomorphized deities in dogmatic religions. That doesn't make the significance of the conjuring of what the dogma is doing any different than... anyway, look, I don't want to get too deep in this, dude. I don't want to end up fucking releasing secrets and... but the point I'm trying to make is every ritualistic thing that religions do is spiritual and spell binding. Let's just put it that way. All right? That's why everything is a to-do in church. That's why the Catholics come out and, they've got the smoke, they've got the Eucharist, they got the fucking wine, they've got the pointy hat, which is a symbolism of the fish god. That's why Jesus is represented by the fish, because we're living in Pisces, and celestially we're about to leave Pisces in the equinox of the system. Anyway, just play it, please. Jesus Christ.
Throne in the Middle Ages.
After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone.
The person sitting on the throne can be seen on almost every medieval star chart. All of these maps depict Cassiopeia enthroned. The enthroned figure can be seen on many star charts of the 16th century, usually in the center of the Milky Way. The apocalypse indicates that there is a rainbow that encircles the throne.
And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald.
The rainbow is an adequately precise image for the luminous Milky Way that spans the night sky like an arch. The unequivocal comparison of the description of the enthroned person with a gemstone, we are told that it had the appearance of jasper and sardine, strengthens the impression that the images are taken from the celestial sphere. Indeed, the comparison of sun and stars with luminous gems is perfectly understandable and natural. Also, take note, sardine, Greek sardion, from the root meaning red, is a gem of a blood red color. Jasper is a compact, opaque, cryptocrystalline variety of quartz, and we are told in Revelation 21:11.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, what the fuck now, dude? Pony opera text. Can we get back to 15.5 inches of pure imagination song? He bought 16 beers so that we could watch this here, all right?
That it is clear as crystal.
All right, so shut up!
And, since we know that it is Christ who sits on the throne, and that Jesus Christ is simply a metaphor for the Son, it can hence be stated with confidence that the jasper and sardine mentioned are representative descriptions of the sun. Jasper appears as to the color white, and is symbolic of the bright white light of day. Sardine is typical of the red flame-colored setting sun.
We get dude, I think we get the sun worship, okay? Now, okay, it's sun worship. Then what?
Imagine a gigantic jasper and sardine stone of human or greater dimensions, and think what its appearance would be. It would be white light mingled with red fire. What is that but the sun? Also worthy of examination is the fact that sardine and jasper were the first and last stones on the breastplate of the high priest Aaron.
Look at that
In Exodus 28:17, we read,
And thou shalt set in it settings of stone.
Yeah, I know you
Even
donated
4
a
rows
video.
of
I'll
stone.
take, well,
The first row shall be
I'll take a look at it either
topaz,
today or
and a
Thursday. I don't
carbuncle.
know yet,
This
dude.
shall be the first row.
I don't
And the
appreciate what
second
the
row
fuck
shall be
fucking
an
Art
emerald,
Hammond
a
did.
sapphire, and a diamond. And the third
But
row,
I see it.
a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper.
The connection of the 12 zodiacal signs with the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 stones of the breastplate were
Zodiac.
acknowledged by Philo and Josephus. Philo asserts that the 12 gems on the priestly breastplate represent the signs in the solar zodiac arranged to correspond to the 4 seasons of the solar year. In this periscope, Philo does not refer to months. The cosmological reference here concerns the sun, that is, the tropical year, divided into seasons,
Jesus Christ. Hold on,
solstices
wait a
and
minute.
equinox.
Hold on just a second. We got aesthetic now. We're in the middle of some sun talk again. Let's get back to 15 and a half inches of Pure Imagination's video, all right?
The 12 stones of the breast, which are dissimilar in color, and are distributed into 4 rows of 3s, what else should they signify but the zodiac circle? For that circle, when divided into 4 parts, constitutes by 3 signs in each case the seasons of the year: spring,
Look,
summer,
don't
autumn,
donate
and
to
winter,
me anymore, and I'll
whereas
be here on
fall,
fucking
the transition
Thursday. I
in
mean,
each of
how
which is
hard is
determined
that
by 3
shit?
signs, and made known to us by the revolutions of the sun.
I mean, seriously, how
The
hard is that
association of the
shit?
constellation of Cassiopeia with Christ, which the apocalypse actually refers to,
What's up
was
with all the
sometimes
tits?
explicitly depicted on medieval maps. For example, the Book of Radianus contains a picture of a throne with the crucified Cassiopeia upon it. The back of the throne serves as a cross, and the hands of the figure are pinioned to it. This is obviously a version of the Christian crucifix. Therefore, the apocalypse contains references to the constellation of Cassiopeia, which was actually perceived as the stellar image of Christ, the King, enthroned in the Middle Ages.
I think we
And
understand
round
this.
about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold.
Any complete astronomy textbook points out that in the days of yore, the sky was divided
look,
into 24
heliocentrism,
wing-shaped
huh?
segments, that is, into 24 meridional sectors which converge at the poles of the celestial sphere.
Or
These sectors are
ley
also called sidereal hours, or direct stellar ascension hours. The 24 hours define the celestial coordinate system.
Ley
Thus,
lines.
each elder of the apocalypse is apparently a star hour in the equatorial system of
They're the
coordinates,
elders.
which is the division standard for the
They're
celestial
the
sphere in
elders. Give me
astronomy.
a smoke here, all right?
The white clothing of the elders simply reflects the white color of the stars in the sky. The golden crowns apparently refer to the constellation of the Northern Crown, Corona Borealis,
Corona
situated close
Borealis.
to the zenith,
Coronavirus.
that is, exactly above the heads of all 24 elders or hours, or sectors. The apocalypse says,
And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal. And in the midst of the throne, and round about the throne, were 4 beasts, full of eyes before and behind.
This is a description of the celestial sphere which surrounds the constellation of the throne and is strewn with stars, or eyes. The initially obscure reference to a place around the throne becomes intelligible. The actual constellation of the throne is being referred to, as well as the smaller stars scattered all across the background. But what does "were for living creatures and they were covered
the hell
with
is
eyes"
that?
mean? This becomes clear from a casual
That looks
glance
like
at a
Jesus
star
on a
chart.
flying carpet.
Moreover, in the following passage of the Apocalypse it is clearly said that
And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle.
the first beast is the constellation of Leo and represents the summer solstice. The second beast is Taurus the bull, who in that age opened the vernal equinox, that is spring. The third beast is Aquarius the waterman, who appeared at the winter solstice. The viewer will notice that in the Bible,
Alright,
the eagle has been
alright,
substituted
this
for the
is almost
scorpion.
done.
Scorpio is the only constellation that has 3 signs: the scorpion, the eagle and the phoenix, which is a symbol of transformation and spiritual rebirth. The eagle could also represent the sign of
rising
Aquila,
of the
which means
phoenix.
eagle land is also in that region. According to Godfrey Higgins, The signs of the zodiac, with exception of the scorpion which was exchanged by Dan for the eagle, were carried by the different tribes of the Israelites on their
16 years
standards.
for this.
Taurus, Leo, Aquarius and Scorpio, or the eagle, are the 4 signs of Joseph, Judah, Reuben and Dan, were placed at the 4 corners, the 4 cardinal points of the sphere, at the equinoxes and solstices, when the equinox was in Taurus the bull. Nonetheless, the eagle aquila symbolized the autumnal equinox.
There it is. Are you sure that among the Hebrews the sign of the autumn equinox was represented by an eagle? And probiotic food says it's source of health. That's the source of health. Yeah, probiotic food. I mean, why isn't it? Is that supposed to be an advertisement or some shit? Probiotic food? It does the body good. What the hell?
Each season bursts forward in a certain zodiac sign at cardinal points. The cardinal points once occurred in Taurus for spring, Leo for summer, Eagle for fall and Aquarius for winter, one zodiac sign back, due to the precession of the equinox. The cardinal points are also the 2 equinoxes, spring and autumn, and 2 solstices, summer and winter. These symbolic animals were the constellations situated at the 4 cardinal points of the zodiac 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. These cardinal points are the origin of the symbol of the cross.
We just saw this. All right, thank you very much. 15.5 inches of pure imagination. He's just trying to underscore that Jesus is a celestial worship, which I think that we all can pretty much surmise that that's, obvious, but... religion is a little bit more mysterious than face value. Let's just put it that way. Not trying to be mysterious myself, but I'm just saying, all right? I'm just saying. So let's see what ICE has in store for us here. All right, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
It's party time!
Our donation alert!
Viva Pinata!
Hurry up!